Hi everybody, I am finally here to do the Icord bind off at the bottom of our Cumulus tee. Sorry it has taken me so long. I work full-time, and so the times that I get to knit are kind of few and far between, but I am finally done and ready, and let's do this. So you have your instructions here in your pattern. We're going to be doing a 4-stitch decreasing I-cord bind off. So refer to your pattern, and I'm just going to show you how we do that. It does say to change to a size 1.5 circular needle before you do this, but I don't have that. So I am just going to be binding off with a size 1 sock needle. Whether that will make any difference, I have no idea, but that's what I'm going to do. So it says the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cast on 4 stitches using the knitted cast on. I am going to use this kind of backwards loop cast on. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you would like to do the knitted cast on, you are free to do so. Don't cast these stitches on too tightly, because when you are knitting into them, just as you know, when you add stitches onto a needle, the first few stitches, the first time you get in there is a little difficult. So now we're going to knit 3. So 1, 2, 3, having a little problems getting in there. So here's 3 stitches, and now we're going to knit 2 together through the back loop. So we're taking that other stitch that we cast on and this first stitch here, and we're going to knit these 2 stitches together through the back loop, thereby decreasing 1 stitch. And now we are going to slip these 4 stitches back on to this needle. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to do what we just did. We're going to do that 3 times. And then the 4th time, we're going to be doing knit 3, knit 3 together through the back loop. So it would probably be a good idea to get out your handy little tally counter. So that was 1. And then now we're going to do that same thing 2 more times. And then we'll do the 3, the third sequence, or I'm sorry, the 4th sequence of it, which is knit 3 together through the back loop. So let's try this again. Now we're going to knit 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to knit. We're going to come to this bridge right here. Do you see the gap? We're going to close this gap by knitting 2 together through the back loop, and that decreases a stitch. Now we have 4 stitches left on this needle, and we're going to slip those 4 stitches right back onto your left hand needle. And then I'm going to make my little counter there. All right, so let's do this again. This is the third little section here. I wouldn't be too worried about that yarn here, because we're going to be weaving in a whole section here. We're going to be weaving this end and that end together as we come all the way around, and that will be able to be hidden. So we're going to knit 3, 1, 2, 3. We've come to this bridge again where we're going to knit 2 together through the back loop. We've done that now, and now we're going to put these 4 stitches back on the left hand needle. Okay, so you can't tell yet. We're going to do a few more of these sections, and then you'll be able to see the rolled I-cord edge going on right here. So that was our third of the knit 2s, and now we're going to do the last sequence which is to knit 3 together through the back loop. So, and then also remember that since we're making an I-cord edging, your yarn is going to be over 3 stitches, okay? So if you find that you're looking in this and like, wait a minute, my working yarn should be right here. Nope, not for this, not for the I-cord edging. It's going to be over 1, 2, 3. It's going to be over 3 stitches. So don't worry about that. So now we're going to knit 3, 1, 2, 3, whoops, split my yarn. Now we've come to this edge, this gap here, our bridge, and now we're going to knit 3 together through the back loop. So we're going to knit this one, and this one. So on here, we're decreasing 2 stitches. So you're going to turn your work over, come in here, the first one to knit, the second one to knit, and then grab that 3rd stitch to knit as well. We're knitting through the back loop, and there we go. So now we've decreased 2 stitches there. And we're going to put those stitches right back onto our left hand needle. And I'm going to, that was our 4th section, so I'm going to clear my stitches, my row counter again. So let's do this again, and then you'll be able to get a clearer picture of exactly what we're doing here. So we're starting at the beginning again, where we're going to knit 3, 1, 2, 3. We've come to our bridge here, and we're going to knit 2 together through the back loop. 1, 2. And now we're going to put these 4 stitches back onto our left hand needle. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that was our first row, our first sequence. Now let's do it again. Knit 3, 1, 2, 3. We've come to our bridge again, and we're going to knit 2 together through the back loop. Whoops, I just pulled my stitches off there, but that's okay. There we go. And now we're going to put these 4 stitches back onto our left hand needle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to move on to our 3rd sequence. Knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and we've come to our bridge again. So we're going to cross our bridge in the back to knit 2 together, decreasing a stitch, and now we're going to put those 4 stitches back on to our left hand needle. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's number 3. So now our fourth sequence of this is to knit 3 together through the back loop. So we do the same as before. We knit 3, 1, 2, hold on, this little edge of this needle over here is getting me. Pick that stitch back up. Actually, you know what? Let's just start over again. I need to grab a little knitting needle topper thing there, put on there. So let's start over again. Let's knit 3. 1, 2, 3. We've come to our bridge again where we're going to knit 3 together through the back loops. 2, 3, and we're going to flip those underneath, and there we have decreased 2 stitches. And now we're going to put those 4 stitches back on to the left hand needle. And clear our binder again. So do you see what we're doing here now? We're making this nice knitted edge all the way so it goes the opposite way. This knitted edge is going vertically, whereas this knitted edge, the I-cord edging, is going horizontally, and it's going to go horizontally around our entire body of our sweater. And because we're reducing the amount of stitches too, it's not going to flare out like if we just, you know, bound off, you know, our shirt, or if we bound off an I-cord but we didn't decrease stitches, you know, as many stitches, then it would still be very wide. But because we're decreasing as many stitches as we're decreasing, it's going to get more narrow, so it will fit us better. So I'm going to do this again. We're going to do this 4 section I-cord decrease again, and then I will meet you again at the very end to weave the 2 ends together. So here we go again. This is the beginning of our sequence again. So we're going to knit 3, knit 2 together through the back loop, and that's that part of it. So we're going to knit 3, 1, 2, 3. We've come to our bridge, and we're going to knit 2 together through the back loop. We've done that, and now we're going to put these 4 stitches. Now these stitches right here are going to be loose because we've just brought another stitch underneath 2 of them, so that stitch right there is going to be loose. Don't even worry about that. Don't think you've done anything wrong. It will sort itself out as we move along. Put those stitches back onto the left hand needle, and then make sure to mark your counter there. Now this is the second sequence. Knit 3, 1, 2, 3. We've come to our bridge again where we're going to knit 2 together through the back loop. We've done that now, and we're going to put these 4 stitches right back onto our left hand needle. And make our counter. Okay, again, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, knit 2 together through the back loop, and then we're going to put those 4 stitches right back onto our left hand needle. counter. And so now this is the last section of our 4-section decrease. So this is where we knit 3 and then we knit 3 together through the back loop. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to go behind and knit 3 together through that back loop. And there we have that. And remember, that stitch is going to be loose, but don't worry, it's going to look completely fine and sort itself out as we continue. So that was the 4th, so I'm going to clear my counter. And so now we just keep doing exactly that all the way around. So I know what you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to take forever. It is super tedious, and you are right. This is going to take us forever. It's going to take forever, but it will look amazing when it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and keep going, and I will see you again at the very end when we're going to seam our 2 edges together. I hope this has been helpful. So how are you doing? Thought I would check in. I've got about this much left. I stopped for a little while to make my kids some Eggo waffles because I'm a good mom. I've been up since 5 in the morning. I don't know why. My body just decided this morning, hey, it's your day off. It's Sunday. Why don't we wake up early just for the heck of it? I was like, no, body, I don't want to wake up early. But my body was like, I am the boss of you. Yeah. So anyway, I am coming on here also to tell you that I made a mistake. I made a mistake, not once, but twice. Somewhere back here, I got into my head that the knit 3 together through the back loop at the back after the bridge, I was knitting this one through the back loop and then 1, 2, 3. I think I did that like 2 or 3 times. And then I finally realized, oh my, Claire, what happened? And I'll tell you what happened. I thought I was cool enough to be able to watch a YouTube video while I was doing this because I am an expert knitter, right? Yeah, no. So if you can watch a video and relax while you are doing this bind off, my proverbial hat is off to you because I could not. And I made those mistakes, and I made them so far back. I was like, well, you could go back and fix them. But then I was like, no, Claire. No, I can't go back and fix them. That's not happening. So somewhere along the line here, I have some mistakes, and there they will stay. Anyway, just wanted to come back in and check in. I'm almost there, so happy knitting. Keep going. All right. Here we are with the last few stitches. Now remember, because I messed up back here, I've got a couple less stitches here. So we will do the first knit through the back loop, decrease that stitch. And after we do these, we are just going to have the 4 stitches left on our needle, which will then bind off as your typical bind off. You're just putting those back on the needle, and now we're just going to bind these stitches off. Oh, you see right there, I split my yarn. So I'm going to go back. And bind that stitch off. this one, bind that one off, knit this one, bind that one off, and now we just have the one stitch left. So I'm going to let go of that needle. Whoops. Then I'm going to cut some yarn, and we're going to take the end of our yarn here and thread it onto a tapestry needle. Make sure you get all of your yarn bits through there. Now, just going to okay, so I have our work turned upside down, and this is the two areas where we are going to be putting these areas together. So I've got my yarn on my needle here, and I'm going to come into the underside of that I-cord to pull those two together. And then I'm going to come up here and come underneath the two parts of this V, and I'm going to pull that way. Now I'm going to go underneath the two parts of this V, and I'm going to pull that way. And I'm going to turn it and go underneath the two parts of that V. Pull it that way. And then I'm going to go underneath the two parts of this V. So there we go. It's not perfect, but doesn't look too bad. Yeah, that right there, we're just gonna call that, you probably won't have that on yours, but I'm just gonna call that my humility stitch. Yep, that's what that's gonna be for me. So now I'm gonna come underneath, come over here, come down, and now I'm just going to weave through some stitches this way, and then weave through some stitches that way, and that'll be it for me. Your weaving in and your joining together will likely look very different and probably a lot nicer than mine. But you know what? I've worked really hard on this sweater, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Because no one is gonna see this at the bottom anyway. Oh my gosh. I am so excited. Wow. Look at that. Okay, the next thing to do. So this is the part now where you will turn your work inside out and find all the little areas where you joined yarn, and you will weave them in. Yes, that is the time right now. So do that, and then I'll be back in the next video and we'll put some sleeves on this thing. Thanks for watching.